Ever heard the phrase, "There's more than one way to skin a cat"? Well, Genghis Khan might have taken that a bit too literally. Today, we're unraveling one of the most bizarre and clever military strategies in history, how Genghis Khan used 1,000 cats to conquer a city. You won't believe this tale of feline warfare. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe for more mind-blowing historical stories. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Our story begins in the early 13th century, during the height of Genghis Khan's conquest. Genghis Khan was no ordinary ruler. He was a strategic genius, a master of psychological warfare, and a man who knew how to think outside the box. But even for him, this was a wild idea. Target? Fortified city in the kingdom of Khwarezm, an empire that dared to defy the Mongol horde. The city was well defended, and a direct assault would have been costly. Genghis Khan needed a way to breach the city without sacrificing thousands of his warriors. Now, Genghis was known for his brutal efficiency, but he also had a reputation for cunning. And that's where the cats come in. Yes, you heard me right, cats. One day, as Genghis was plotting his next move, he noticed something peculiar. The city had a large population of stray cats. Instead of seeing this as a mere nuisance, Genghis saw an opportunity. He hatched a plan that was equal parts genius and madness. Genghis Khan sent a message to the city's rulers, offering them a seemingly simple deal: surrender the city, and in exchange, he would spare their lives and take only a tribute of 1,000 cats and 10,000 birds. The city's leaders, thinking they'd gotten off easy, agreed to the terms. But here's where the plot thickens. Once Genghis had his hands on the cats and birds, he ordered his soldiers to tie bundles of cloth to their tails. But not just any cloth. These were highly flammable materials. As night fell, the soldiers set the cloth on fire and released the terrified animals back into the city. Chaos erupted. The animals, driven by fear and pain, ran back to their homes, spreading flames throughout the city. The residents awoke to find their homes and buildings ablaze, and in the ensuing panic, the city's defenses crumbled. The gates were left unguarded, and Genghis Khan's forces stormed in with little resistance. The city, which had once seemed impregnable, fell without a major battle. Genghis Khan's cunning use of 1,000 cats, and let's not forget the birds, turned the tide in his favor. It was a perfect example of his ability to turn even the most unusual circumstances to his advantage. Now you might be wondering, did this really happen? While the story has been passed down through various historical accounts, the exact details might have been embellished over time. But what's undeniable is that Genghis Khan was a master of psychological warfare, often using fear, deception, and clever tactics to outmaneuver his enemies. Genghis Khan's empire grew to become one of the largest in history, stretching from the steppes of Mongolia to the very edges of Europe. His legacy is a mix of brutality and brilliance, and stories like the one with the cats remind us that sometimes history is stranger than fiction. Before we wrap up, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this wild tale. We've got plenty more historical surprises coming your way. And hey, if you were a ruler back then, would you have surrendered to Genghis Khan's demands? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, history is full of surprises, and sometimes the smallest creatures can bring down the mightiest walls.